David Eason is the worst. And we know, that phrase gets thrown around a lot, but this time, it's definitely true. David is the worst. Has been awful for a long time, basically ever since he had his Teen Mom 2 debut. But this week, things have gotten a whole lot more intense. The whole thing started when Jenelle shared some photos after what she said was an emergency sinus surgery, but a lot of people didn't buy it. A popular theory was that David actually hit her after an old friend of hers went public with claims that had slept with her before she married David. It wasn't terribly hard to believe, considering that David's long criminal record includes domestic violence charges. One of his exes claimed in court documents that had pushed her while she was heavily pregnant with their child, which, you know, isn't great. A judge also saw it fit to issue a restraining order against David for his own son, so Hess clearly not the most stable guy.
A few days after that, the story got even more believable when a report came out claiming that someone had called 911 from Jenelle's home last weekend to report an assault. According to that report, Jenelle had been injured, and although an ambulance was called, it was cancelled instead. Someone drove her to the hospital. She refused to press charges, which is sad but unsurprising. It was a scary story to begin with, but when Jenelle's 911 call was released, it's really so awful. My husband, he just assaulted me, she tells the operator through sobs. He pinned me down on the ground in the yard, and I think I heard my fucking collarbone crack and I can't move my arms. She said that had gotten violent because had been drinking, and at one point she even referred to him as her ex. She also told the operator that she was recovering from surgery, so apparently her sinus surgery story was true. But that means that David would have attacked her just days after undergoing such a serious procedure. Just when you think this guy couldn't get any worse, right? Just a tip for the future, maybe just don't ever think that. Shortly after the 911 call was released, Jenelle made a statement, calling the whole thing a drunk and dramatic misunderstanding. Everything is great, she insisted. We are totally fine. We are feeling fine. Just taking time off social media. Time to focus on ourselves and our family. It's not super believable, right? Especially since before the 911 call came out, a rep for Jenelle tried to say that she'd actually just tripped and fallen by a bonfire. But even though she's deleted her Twitter and Facebook accounts, and even though it's pretty much been confirmed that he assaulted her, they're still trying to pretend that everything is fine. They went on a date last night, and they were sure to post pictures and video on Snapchat. It's worth pointing out that she wore a shirt that completely covered her chest and any possible injuries she has in that area.
And today, wouldn't you know it, everything is still great. David shared this photo on Instagram of the happy couple with their precious daughter. "We have never been happier, thanks for asking." He captioned the picture. He also disabled the comments, because he's sensitive like that. Oh, and Jenelle is all covered up again, as you can see. Look, we'd love to believe that everyone is blowing this whole thing out of proportion. Maybe they just got into an argument and it really was a misunderstanding, maybe everything really is fine. But if you've ever watched David on Teen Mom 2, you know that he gives off the creepiest of vibes. And if you've ever watched Jenelle, you know that she's incapable of being with a guy who is an absolutely terrible to-and for her. Let's just wish the best for her, alright? As bad as she can be, she doesn't deserve this.
What do you think about it? Share your opinion in the comments below the video. And also subscribe to the channel not to miss new, interesting videos.